Sage for second here, and today we're looking at the Rampage accessory pack for use with the Ruck figure from Final Faction. This accessory pack essentially makes Ruck one of the, very much a sci-fi super soldier. Nearly a mech in and of himself, very similar to what you would see in the original books of Starship Troopers or something of that nature, instead of the movies. So it's really cool. A lot of sci-fi elements here. We're going to open this up. It almost looks like a figure in and of itself because it covers most of Ruck's body when he's using it. I'm going to take this out of the package and we're going to start looking at it, see if I can actually put this on the figure, and see how it goes. Okay, and starting off, this thing has tons of parts. You'll find yourself looking for them if you're not careful. So you have all sorts of parts here. I mean, as you can see, and so we got to figure out where each part goes. Obviously, the leg part should be pretty obvious. And these legs are pretty awesome. You can see they are hollow on the back, so his leg can go into them, but they are very much sculpted around the side most of the way. So when you're looking at the front of this figure, you're not going to see much of the actual figure once he's geared up. Let me take off his accessories he has on him right now, and then we'll go ahead and start putting these accessories on him. Okay, so there is a peg inside the leg to align it to the front of his legs. A lot of people are telling me they're actually super gluing this guy together because they can just buy another one. I'm just going to try to put it together for now and see how it looks. Okay, so with the legs on the figure, like I said, I'm just going to do this piece by piece so we can kind of see how it looks with each figure piece. So you can see here with the legs on the figure, you can see from the behind where his legs are basically just slotted in there. And then basically, if he can actually still move his legs a little bit, even with this on here. It is a little bit impeding in the articulation, but these figures don't have the biggest articulation concerns anyway, because they are only 5 points of articulation. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going. Okay, and looking at the arms, they do have another peg here because he has pegs on his wrist. And once he has these on, of course, that means his hand will be completely covered by the armor. So, you gotta really kind of press this in here. And the good thing is, it does come with these little hands that peg in. And they do, it's kind of interesting, they peg in and he holds them like a gun. So it's 2 points of contact. Hopefully that'll make the hand stay on good. Let me check that out. Okay, and you can see here he is holding the almost like gun-like contraption that must control the hands. The hand does go on there, and now he has this mega arm going on to kind of match his legs. It is pretty cool looking. I can't wait to really put a wash on one of these things so you can see all the details, because there is a ton of detail. If you look at this, there's all sorts of detailing, and it's just like they did with the ACRM. It's futuristic, but it also looks pretty beat up at places. They've been in a few combats with this thing. That's one thing they never really did with old G.I. Joe toys. So this is actually a really cool thought process of, hey, they're not only geared up, but they're also lived in real military hardware would be, a little bit banged up, but still functioning and kicking butt. Okay, and just to kind of give you an overview of how I'm putting the hand on here, is what I'm doing is I'm pegging in the hand from the end, and then turning it down into the grip of the gun, so that it is being held by the figure. Just wanted to give you a demo of how that works. Okay, now the next thing is, this is the canopy of the mech, if you were, because it does have these pegs right here that go into Rex peg holes for his gun mounts. And essentially, that'll make it where it actually goes over his whole body, the front of his body, kind of like a, to shield the front of his body. And there you go. Now he is just looking pretty badass, even from that way. Now from the back, you still see the figure almost all the way. Hopefully, Ruck is never going to run away in combat or get an enemy behind him. Although it does look like he does have a backpack to peg into the back that will at least protect his torso. And in injuries in combat, that's pretty common to get your torso blown up. So let's not do that. Okay, let's see here. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this backpack put on here. Okay, and I did notice that these, because this is so rubbery right here, I had to kind of press in a little bit more to get these canopy parts to go into here. And with that backpack on there, the canopy only opens up this much at that point. But that's more than enough for mostly what you'd want to be able to do with it. Then, of course, we now have a place to, on the shoulders and the forearms, to add weaponry. And so what we have left here are these extension pieces that, I'm going to try to figure out what they do exactly. This looks like an alternate for the hand, where one of the hands could actually, be something else. So I'm going to look at that and try to figure that out, because the way that this is shaped is a little different than the hands. Like, the way this is shaped. But it looks like an alternate for one of the hands or something. We have a minigun that's awesome. And the minigun, essentially, one of these things pegs into the minigun so that then you can put that minigun onto the figure. I'm going to mess around with this and find the configuration I think is the best. But both the minigun and this missile launcher pod set basically do that. Like, you have to have this little extension arm to attach them to the figure in some way, so that it looks like they go on this backpack from what I'm seeing. I'm going to see if that lines up right and check it out. Let me pause the video. Okay, so I've already had a hand fall off while I was doing that. So while I was trying to mess around with the backpack, I actually flipped the backpack the other way. I'm not sure which way it goes yet, but I'm just checking out my options here. And so since that hand fell off, I'm going to go ahead and see if that hand can... Okay, let's see here. Oh, wow. This is what people are complaining about with this figure. Like, everything starts just popping off after you mess with it. I haven't even got it all the way put together yet. See, it can't be this hand. And there's not a place that's on this figure where this would make sense besides the hands. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's this hand, so basically peg this in here. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is that just to hit people really hard, or does it shoot energy out? It's really kind of cool looking, but I have no idea what the purpose is. So that's always interesting. I didn't know there was an extra part that maybe when you store this thing, you're really going to have like a plastic bag to store all these parts in or something. Let's see here. Okay, let's go ahead and, like I said, continue looking. Okay, so this is not like the end-all be-all, this is the way it has to go. But you can see here that basically the rocket pods I've mounted to the backpack guard piece. I still think I'll probably end up flipping this back over. And then the machine gun you can put on the shoulder or there. This could go to either place. In fact, the universal peg system they have here, you can put it pretty much anywhere, which is pretty interesting because I could just basically put this right onto one of the forearms. Now the thing is that doesn't mean you have to give up on using all the other parts. Like you could probably attach other parts for other ruck accessories, like for example the assault set, and really even load this guy up even more with other weapons and accessories. And that's one of the great things about this set is that, you know, for $1.25 you took a figure that you basically, maybe you're done playing with it or looking at it because like you've already seen it all, you've already done it all with that figure, and then all of a sudden you still have more to do with it. Now, of course, this looks like it does go right here, and I don't know if that's supposed to be a bomb or some sort of other thing. So maybe this is the right way to have the backpack so that that'll stay up there. That's pretty cool. Though that does hamper this to opening and closing. Now I could flip this over. Let's see. Let's see if that'll stay in there when it's upside down. To really push on this figure is, like I said, the rubbery plastic they've used for this, while in some places may be necessary, is one of the major complaints other people have had about this line. Now, if this is flipped over, I'm just worried that this is long enough to even see the rocket pod over his shoulder. Like, is he going to blow himself up? Like, it doesn't seem right. I could try to put it on the shoulders. Like I did the... Then it'd be pointing at the ground. Yeah, let me mess with this a little bit because his leg fell off. He can't stand up straight. They do have this cool feature here I did not even know about. It's kind of like it pegs off. That could be a bomb or an energy pack or something. Like, oh my gosh, he's out of energy or something, you know, and he can't move. That actually happens in some of the Starship Troopers books. If they run out of energy or they get damaged, they could be basically trapped in the weight of their own gear. Pretty crazy ideas. Okay, and of course here we are with Ruck with all of the accessories on him. He's got his missile pack, he's got his gun, he's got his, so, you know, this thing, I would not want to see this coming after me. He's basically got everything on there except for the extra hand. Now, you could prefer the extra hand because I don't even know what this is supposed to do, but maybe punch something really hard. However, the good thing about the extra hand is probably it looks about the right size to hold Karn weapons. So you could probably put a Karn weapon in this extra hand, whether that's Diabol's hammer or something else. So that's pretty cool that they thought about that because it's not for human size weapons going to work, but for Karn weapons, I could almost purposely see one of their blasters or something in the extra hands. They'd be so long you wouldn't be able to put his hands all the way down for most of them. Anyway, this has been my review of the Rampage, accessory set for Final Factions Ruck figure. The biggest issues, of course, are the rubbery feel of the plastic. Makes it kind of hard at times to peg the parts together. But some of that's required because you're putting a part over a hard figure part. It might not stick together otherwise. It actually, many complaints as I got and how some stuff fell apart on me. I had to put it back together once or twice. It's a lot more solid than I thought it would be. I love all the detailing here. You probably can't even see how much detailing is on this thing. It is very cool, and I'm definitely going to take a separate Ruck figure, glue all these pieces on probably, and have one that's basically in battle mode Ruck pretty much all the time. So this is Sage Forsaken asking you to like, comment, and subscribe. What were your experiences if you found this? If you haven't found this, I still wish you luck. I know I had to go to 5 different Dollar Trees and I never found it. But the one that's near me, there's one that is near me that seems to get a lot more. And that's what I've been hearing on the forum is that if a Dollar Tree has a lot of movement of its stock and inventory on this line, they will keep sending it there. And the other Dollar Trees that have no movement because they just have a wall of Karn that nobody's buying, those ones are not going to get any more Final Faction probably. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and pour on the plastic.